Hello, trading is closed on July 12th, 2017. Yesterday we had a lower MEJT target. We said as long as this high held, we should see this and probably a lot more. We said if we gapped over the high, the whole thing was killed. Well, we gapped over the high. So the call's killed before the open and there was no call for today. Even if I don't say it, if I have a lower target, any target, and we gap sharply in the undesired direction, the call's killed before the open, so no one loses any money. We'll add this to the list, but we get to take two other price targets off the list. Now this is a long time ago, June 26th and July 3rd, talking over a week and several weeks. It's kind of amazing how the market remembers the numbers after all that time, and they still serve as support and resistance levels. During the day, MEJT, while the market was gapping up and just railing without a stop, said this move was a false rally and that we would retrace to this price, which we did at the close, so we closed at a support level. Doesn't mean support has to hold, but that's where we closed, and that was verified. Well, we have mixed signals. So the most common thing is we gap outside the day's range. Next most common is we close, little changed, and have the big move on Friday. What's positive about this? Well, we have a pattern which I'm reasonably confident is a pattern with an early high and a late low. And when the late low doesn't break to new lows, it's generally positive, unless we gap under today's low. But it's negative that we gapped up, hit a series of new highs, and couldn't hold on to any of them. That negativity is negated if we gap up and promptly take out this high. So we look for a prompt move outside of today's range tomorrow, unless we close a little change and have it on Friday. Now the question is, which direction? Well, I have a whole bunch of stuff saying that this was the high of the move on June the 19th. It doesn't take too much to move 0.25 over to there. I'd sure like it if this stuff worked, if George Lindsay knew what he was talking about. But if he did, we should have a pretty straight drop from here down into the middle 2350. So the question is, do we have anything besides this to make that plausible? Turns out there's quite a lot of resistance right at today's high. Here's some channels. You can draw a trend line connecting these. Same trend line, if I don't move it, connects these. And we stopped just short of it and ran parallel to it. If that were all we had, it wouldn't be too impressive. Here's the diamond on stilts pattern. Now here was your stilt, here was your stilt, here's the diamond. If you take the height, set it equal to 38.2, there's your target. Here's a stilt. Excuse me, here's a stilt, here's a stilt, here's your diamond, pretty obvious. Take the height of the diamond, set it equal to 61.8%, that's your target. Now here was the origin of the left stilt, the first challenge, which this is, usually holds. It's often resistance, but it can hold as support. So if we do have the gap down, I would look for some support around the origin of the left stilt. Well, we now have 3 attempts to break higher, 3 attempts to break lower. All these attempts to break lower undercut the lows of the consolidation. This attempt to break higher could not undercut the highs of the consolidation. These moves I view as stronger than these moves. And these are not sustainable moves. Here it's already been retested. This was a retest of that. They're all sustainable. Counting waves isn't my thing, but I didn't have to make too many changes to my count. If that's A and that's B and that's C to give us A, C is equal to 1.618 times A. If that's your A and that's your B, you take the height of A that's pretty darn good if you ask me. C is equal to A right over there at the high. Of course, it isn't the only way you can count this. I'm still hoping that the June 19th high is in. I think there's a lot of resistance at this high. I'm looking for a prompt move out of the gate, out of the range, and if it's down, and if George Lindsay's right, we're going to start a pretty big drop. Tomorrow's pattern, I believe, is one with an early high, but it doesn't mean we can't gap down sharply first. So it's kind of Fisher cut bait time tomorrow. And I'm still looking for the June 19th high to hold and for us to probably take out these lows. And if not, it should be obvious before the open, and that's today's call.